Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake Chats 2017. I really haven't been doing a lot of channeling lately. I've been noticing that since the eclipse. They come through sometimes, especially in the car. But even that, I haven't been fighting it. They haven't been around very much. And so I was sitting at the laptop. I really feel very moved to come here and share. Kind of blank as to what to say. And then the thoughts came. And then this new thought, because really it's been the messages now are about really just simplicity, just um, the duality comes in swells now, I find, and it is beginning to feel so much different, and so obviously different than this other way that I've been knowing, and that's becoming stronger. That I really think that's what's happening with the shift. It's really a matter of just loosening my grip on things that I believe are real and true. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I talked about it yesterday. Last evening, I had a great many things that I needed to get done between the hours of 5 and 6. They were of high importance, and they were time sensitive, and they involved a great deal of money. And there's nothing like money to inflame my sense of not being safe and supported here. So I was feeling very unsupported and scared. Now, that was my choice, because really I was just going to pay my portion of the rent. Right? People do that every month. But because of circumstances, it just had to be done between the hour of 5 and 6 on a Friday. Oh, goody. And I had the choice of going someplace new where the financial instrument would cost less. The transaction would be very smooth, but I wasn't convinced about the ATM. If I was scared that the ATM wasn't going to work. I wanted it to not work. If it was going to malfunction, I would prefer the whole thing malfunction closer to home. So, in the moment, I mentioned it last night, in the moment I had decisions to make, and I really had planned the whole day to go to one place. And in the moment, I decided to do what was familiar. I was feeling unsafe, and I picked what seemed to me safest because it was the most familiar, not because it held advantages. No, logistically, it held disadvantages, and I chose it. And I had to get 2 money orders, and the machine broke in the middle of printing the second money order. So I had to go get my money order today at the place I was supposed to have gone or wanted to go, planned to go the whole time. Now, some people could look at this and think, well, this is just splitting hairs. I see this as a grand lesson, because in that moment, I had the choice between choosing the new, doing something new that would be to my advantage, but it was new, or doing something the old way. I chose the old way. It was frustrating. I lost my shit. Had it been frustrating at the other place, I might have still lose my shit, maybe. We'll never know. I didn't choose that probability field. And so, yes, I had that bubbly, weird, like liquid velvet feeling of just, I don't have to be worried about anything. Oh, wait, I have to be worried about this rent thing. Oh, yeah. So, that task is now complete. Yay. And no harm, no foul. Everybody, walked away a winner. Yay. Um, and I have learned a lesson because I've been puzzling on that ever since because I thought it was kind of hypocritical to lose my shit. I mean, I didn't go off on anybody, but I got really super fucking frustrated and really, really upset and despondent in the moment and afraid, just panicked because and remembering having been dealt the dirty before and expecting to be dealt the dirty again, anticipating punishment and pain. So the last, little bit, I've been aware that I think that I have had this invisible belief or value that I think is sort of interwoven in the American dream and our culture, our work ethic. We work ourselves to death. My God. You hear somebody from France or Great Britain or Finland talk about just daily life. It's like, what? And we're doing it this way? We're doing it mean, rough, punitive. It's just not very gentle. It's not very respectful. It's odd. But I think it comes from this idea that if it's not hard, if it doesn't show great courage or great stick-to-itiveness or that it's just not, it just seems to be, I don't know, I can only speak for myself, obviously. But I grew up in a time and place where, you did things a certain way, and there was worry if you didn't do it right. And there is. People have that. It's not just me. Look at how people behave around tax time. That's all I'll say about that. I just think that I have often opted for the hardest thing. I've always made that. I will always opt for the thing that looks the hardest. That's going to yield the most benefit. I've done it again and again with big, big, big life decisions. I'm going to do the hardest thing. I'm going to do the thing that seems the most challenging to me. And I think that now I'm seeing that, okay, that's fine for the first leg of this journey. In the old energy, well, what else was there to do? Live it with a little style and have some fun with it because it's going to be null and void. So do what you need to do, and from there, the new will spring. So set a good foundation and strap in. Set your clock for 2017 and just, But to get here, I chose to go through the struggles. I talk about Dolores Cannon a lot in Convoluted Universe when she's taking people through hypnosis into past lives and into the subconscious, or what I call the oversoul, or the bigger portion of the entity. Many of the people who go to her, who are from the first wave, had difficulties and arduous journeys. And in the life planning section of the hypnosis, when the oversoul, when the entity has moved from the body of the last life that needed to be reviewed, and the oversoul sort of takes over and discusses things, it was discussed. I remember one time in a planning session for this lifetime, one of the inductees or one of the hypnosis uh, subjects uh, said that her bowl was full of marbles. She kept pulling marbles and putting marbles in her bowl. And each of these marbles was an issue, a big one. What I call a koan. But problems, issues, lessons, karma, whatever. And she was asked, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" "Oh yeah, I can handle it. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work." "Are you sure?" And now she's in the middle as the human being. She's smack dab in the middle of, pushing her marbles out of her bowl. And that's why I don't think that it's cool to think that if you've got a boring normal life, super no problems, what one of my teachers and mentors used to call ski bunny life, a ski bunny existence. Awesome. You didn't pick a lot of marbles. And you're beautiful and shiny and very lovely. And many of these people do not lack depth. They carry a purity and a clarity for having not had these issues. But my bowl, I filled it up with marbles. And one of these marbles, I don't know. I think maybe it's I don't know. The weight in each of the marbles, I don't know. It's more of a flavor to the marbles, is this idea that it has to be hard. Maybe I'm realizing that it doesn't have to be hard anymore because I pushed a lot of my marbles out of my bowl. Or I don't know. What do you do with marbles? Put them in another bowl? Let them roll away? I don't know. It's not a great metaphor. But I think you get the idea that if these marbles are koans and you crack them, that maybe these marbles, when you crack them open, they turn into butterflies. I could live with that. Ooh. They turn into crows. Ooh, that's pretty. Or into animals. Okay, fine, that's pretty. By this point, I'm walking through a zoo. Cool. And the message is, how hard do you think this has to be? Is there really value in worry? Am I doing this more virtuously if I'm angry? If I'm indignant? If I can see a better way than everybody else? So I'm sitting here thinking these thoughts and thinking, well, there is something about all of this. There's this thing that I've been prone to do from time to time called channeling. And it dawned on me with a great sense of gratitude what channeling really truly is. It's an introduction of the new into an old system. And man, can I see that especially today. I see my daily life and my habitual weirdnesses as a matrix, as a bed, like a flower bed that is just dirt. And I really can play this any way I want. If I want to do it hard, and I think that I saw how being upset about something can be seen as a value, or like you're doing it right. If you're indignant or pissed, or you know a better way and everyone's so stupid, and wow, that's a mindset. And I can drop it. Why? Because this God stuff keeps coming through. It's what it is. I don't like the name spirit. It just is too, it's too light. It's too feathery. God, that's an energy I understand. It's where I feel best thinking about it. And that's really the new way for me, this magical way, a cooperative way that is less shaming, less finger pointing, wagging. And that old stuff is old stuff. And it's a choice. That's what I think has been kind of odd about this. I know this is a binary system. I know this is a dual system. But I know there's something bigger than both the dark and the light. And it's God. I'm thankful for the light because then there's shadow and there's fun and there's contrast and there's play. But there's something so much bigger. That is less worried about the details than I am. And it's this that I've always walked with, but have been very hesitant about and ashamed of. Maybe not ashamed of, just very protective of, highly protective of. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I know how to behave around this kind of energy. So, I really do think it's about not so much doing what is easiest, but doing what's in front of me without anger. Doing what's in front of me without anger. Because I know I'm not doing the hard things in perpetuity. I didn't come here to live a life of misery, suffering, self-denial, pain, disappointment, grief. I have done my time. As a nurse, as a lover, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a cousin, as a niece, as a granddaughter. Done my time. And although to me sometimes it seems like the whole world is really leaning on me to be unhappy and scared, so that I'm not making them uncomfortable. No. So yeah, I lose my shit on a Friday afternoon. I get frustrated and scared and panicked over money. Money is a stumbling block for me. But it's just lately. This particular marble has shown a hairline fracture. And I can't wait till it bursts open. That's going to be one big mamma jamma of an elephant. So when I channel, I'm bringing in that unified field that golden field that I know is Creator, that I recognize as me, liquid gold benevolence. It's what we're made of. It's the only thing that's real. Now, you couldn't have convinced me of that about 5:45 last night after I broke that machine. I didn't feel golden. I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel loved. And maybe that's just being so in the moment that I'm easily reactive. But I think the idea is to get to the place where I am living this liquid gold benevolence. It just is more and more part of the deal. And the frustrations finally fall into proper perspective. That's the idea. And it'll come. I don't miss the channeling. I don't really feel like I need to do it. Isn't that funny? But to me, that's always the thing. Without that injection of something that's more clear and true, what I'm doing continues. I know of many, many people who prefer it that way. And you know, I was thinking the same thing the other day before the shit hit the fan. I was thinking, you know, it's not the best. But it's nice to have things, you know, that are dependable. And then I was thinking, well, if they get really super great, I always think that's going to end. Why do I think that the bad stuff is permanent and the good stuff is just a reprieve? And that's, you know, one of the things that's flipping. It truly is. The moments that are, you know, zingy and difficult are very few. They're so few. And it's shocking to me. I do notice the absence of the yammer. I really. It used to be in the beginning I had to find other things to fill the time. So I wouldn't, you know, be encouraged to worry or that kind of thing. And I had to find ways to occupy my mind. And now it's like there's stuff that's coming through. So I'm easily soothed if I can just quiet down. So those are the changes I've noticed. I'm disappointed in myself because I just can't seem to move off the dime of certain things. But that's not permanent. And I really want to commit to myself that I'm going to refrain from escalating internal thinking into fear thoughts. To just be more aware of that, because they really do kind of swirl and pull you down. And you got to climb out of them. They're sticky. And I think it's from valuing conflict and strife, being an overcomer, being a problem solver, being able to handle things. You know, If I really do value things being easy, then that means that they are easy. And when they're hard, well, if I lose my shit, I lose my shit. Usually it's pretty easy. And the channeling comes in to provide support and relief and new ideas. And there were obviously a lot of years I didn't channel actively, didn't trust myself. So I was an avid student. I read Jane Roberts' Seth and studied Kryon and had other pursuits to add another perspective, more information, more, so that my consciousness could be cracked open like a marble, and I could become this. I don't know what my spirit animal is. I like crows and I like sloths and I like raccoons, and my favorite is lamb. I love sheep. I love goats. I love all animals. I can't pick a favorite. All right, I'm going to drink coffee, and I think that I'm going to channel. And then I'm going to surprise myself by applying pressure in just the right areas. So the hairline fracture goes boop on my big koans. I got a couple. Maybe they're intertwined, I don't know. But I'm trusting now. And this is why I'm going to be adding Kryon's newest thing, Who is God? Oh, it really is time to trust. And I'm saying that for my benefit. And if it can help you, well, awesome. And if you think it's yammer, then that's fine. Turn it off if you think it's yammer, because nobody in this world needs yammer. And if I am a voice that you're in love with, your ears are soothed, your heart is calmed, your eyes are satisfied, and your brain gets full, well then, damn, aren't I all that? All right, I have nothing more to say today. Well, that's not true, but I don't want to say it right now. I want to drink coffee, have a think, listen to some tunage, and then channel. Namaste.